everyone. Welcome to an episode of Political Retrograde. I have Elizabeth here with me. What are you covering today?
Today, we're going to cover the story of Harvey Milk.
Okay, I've not heard of him.
I hadn't heard of him either before I started researching different stories to do. So it's kind of the story of Harvey Milk and George Moscone. Harvey Milk was originally from New York, and he had been a Wall Street researcher and a theater producer before he moved west to open a small camera shop in the heart of San Francisco's Castro district. Friends and those that knew him described him as having a loud voice, infectious energy, and fierce dedication to his neighborhood. And he was an advocate for the LGBTQ community. Now, just because I don't know, if it's LGBTQIA plus, or I'm just gonna call it LGBTQ so that we're all on the same page, but the all-inclusive community. So in 1977, after years of grassroots organizing and several unsuccessful campaigns, Milk made history. He became the first openly gay man elected to mayor public office in the United States, winning a seat on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. So this made him not just a city official, but a symbol of a new, inclusive America, urging marginalized people everywhere to come out and claim their space. Okay. So in 1977, he was elected as the first gay man into a major public office in San Francisco. And I was thinking about it, San Francisco in today's world is very progressive, very liberal, but at this time, it wasn't. It was kind of in 1977, it was kind of the breaking point for them. Half of the people were, in the late 70s especially, there was a huge wave of progressive change, and that brought a lot of new residents, specifically gay men and women, to San Francisco because they were seeking basically any place that would make them safe, any kind of community, because it wasn't safe for them at that time.
Yeah.
So half of San Francisco was, like I said, these progressive liberal thinkers, and the other half was very traditional working class neighborhoods where most men were police, firefighters, and they were all conservatives and held very strong values. In 1977, election had brought Harvey Milk into office and also brought in a man named Dan White. So basically, if Harvey was representing the new San Francisco, Dan White was representing the old San Francisco. Okay. Dan White was a Vietnam veteran, a former police officer, and a former firefighter. He was a blue-collar district representative. He was seen as clean-cut and a rigid defender of traditional values. So when this first began, White and Milk maintained a cordial working relationship. Dan was a political rookie, and Harvey was even attended the baptism of White's son. However, the political and cultural differences between the two men quickly drove a wedge between them. The final breaking point was a proposed city ordinance to ban discrimination against gay people in housing and unemployment. Milk was the champion of the bill. Dan White, under pressure from conservative constituents in the police union, cast the sole dissenting vote. He became politically isolated, humiliated, and deeply resentful of Milk. Sorry, Nora is pawing my leg.
Oh.
My dog just had surgery, and she does not want to be left out of the conversation.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. We can have a under the weather puppy on board today. Yeah.
So by the fall of 1978, Dan White's life started to change. His job as a supervisor paid very little. His private fast food business was failing, and he felt the city he loved was slipping away from him. On November 10th, the overwhelmed and bitter Dan White suddenly resigned from his seat on the Board of Supervisors. Almost immediately, his conservative supporters pressured him to reverse his decision, telling him they needed his voice to counter progressive leaders like Milk. White went to Mayor George Moscone and asked for his job back. Initially, the mayor agreed, but Harvey Milk stepped in. He urged the mayor not to reappoint White, arguing it would be a step backward for the community's progress and agenda and a missed opportunity to appoint someone more representative of the city's growing diversity. Finally convinced by Milk and others, Mayor Moscone changed his mind. He decided he would officially announce a new supervisor on Monday, November 12th. The night before Dan found out, on the morning of November 27th, 1978, Dan White went to City Hall. To avoid the metal detectors at the main entrance, he climbed through an open basement window. He was carrying a loaded .38 caliber revolver and extra ammunition. White walked up to the mayor's office and demanded to speak with Moscone. When the mayor refused to give him his job back, White shot him 4 times, killing him instantly. White then reloaded his weapon, walked down the corridor to the supervisor's office, and asked to see Harvey Milk. He led Milk into an office and shot him 5 times. Within minutes, the political heart of San Francisco had been violently stopped. White fled the building, called his wife from a diner, and later turned himself in to the police, giving a full confession.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like he just like snapped, it seems
Just
like.
snapped because he lost. After White's assassination, San Franciscans gathered around and had a huge candlelight vigil and really showed intense support. So honestly, I think that it had the opposite effect. Him killing Harvey White made him more famous, which of course it did. But they gathered for a spontaneous candlelight vigil. They walked in complete silence from the Castro district to City Hall to honor both slain leaders.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah, go ahead.
So a few months later, in May of 1979, Dan White's trial began and eventually ended in the verdict that stunned the nation. The prosecution argued that the killings were a clear case of premeditated first-degree murder. The defense, however, argued that White was suffering from diminished capacity in what became infamously known as the Twinkie Defense. White's lawyers claimed that his severe depression, exacerbated by a sudden shift to consuming high-sugar junk food, impaired his judgment to the point where he could not premeditate murder.
I've never heard of that before.
That's a crazy defense. And
yeah. So is that why everyone's going batshit crazy now? Like all anybody's eating?
Because we all only eat processed stuff.
Yeah.
On May 21st, 1979, the jury found Dan White guilty not of murder but voluntary manslaughter. He was sentenced to just over 7 years in prison. For the premeditated, calculated, up close and personal murder of 2 people, he got just over 7 years because he ate too many Twinkies.
And like, how many times did one was shot 5 times, the other was shot how many times? Like
4. Yeah. And he when he went and got Harvey, he led him into a separate room and then shot him.
That's wild. And the fact that they got along before that. And then...
Yeah. I mean, it makes you think, like, this was all politically motivated, so how much of the trial was corrupted by political motivation?
Yeah.
You know, it really left the gay community feeling like they were betrayed twice, which I definitely think they were. They were let down a lot on this one.
Yeah. The
community was just as outraged by this, and it actually led to what started as peaceful protests, and it's now been called the White Night Riots. Thousands of people marched on City Hall, and then it led to smashing windows, setting police cars on fire, and basically turned not quite so peaceful. But it started out, it's supposed to be peaceful. It's, like I said, referred to as the White Night Riots.
Yeah.
So Dan White served 5 years in prison before he was paroled. He returned to San Francisco, but never really got over the fact that everyone hated him. Even after he got out, he received a lot of hate and ultimately died by suicide in his garage in 1985, which, I mean, he was sentenced in 79 and then served 5 years and killed himself in 1985. He put up
Yeah.
with that for a very short amount of time.
Right. Also, like, I guess if I were him, I wouldn't even want to return to that area.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised he didn't kill himself the day he did the murders,
Yeah.
personally. But
California, because of this case, abolished the diminished capacity defense. So
okay. The
his
Twinkie
yeah, yeah,
defense. Okay.
no matter how many Twinkies you eat. His death galvanized the LGBTQ rights movement, inspired countless individuals to come out of the closet, advocate for equality, and run for public office. So, and what is, I think is even cooler about this is Harvey Milk was only a city supervisor for 11 months
Yeah.
and made this much of a difference, basically because he was assassinated and his killer only got 5 years.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I can only imagine the excitement when he did get elected and
Especially in
within that,
California.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
within that community, I feel like it was, probably recognized as like a moment in time where things are changing, but then all of that happened. And yeah, like I'm sure people felt like he was a hero for getting that position.
Absolutely.
Just like when Obama was elected, like the
Yeah.
first person of color as president, like that was
Mm-hmm.
more than just a presidential election.
Yeah. No, it was a big deal, but I think every time we hit those milestones, like we'll have another one whenever we get the first female president,
Yeah,
which is crazy that it's 2026 and hasn't happened.
I know. I know. So when in the 2016 election, I voted for Trump, but part of me was also sad that day because I was like, we were so close to a female president, and yeah.
Yeah. It was really cool. Like, I think it's cool that we got to see a black president or
Yeah.
just not white president as
Yeah.
for the first time, and I hope in our lifetime we get to see the first female president as well.
It is
And
cool that
maybe the first gay president.
yeah, it is cool that we were able to see that. And then Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is the highest ranking gay person in politics right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of people really like him. So I don't know if he has like a presidential thing in the future or there's a lot of options now,
Hmm.
at least.
I think the
But
biggest thing for people is like seeing past whatever stops them, like seeing
mhm.
past them being gay or female or black or like anything that's just not a white straight man.
Yeah.
Once they can see back past that and actually like take their ideas and their stance into consideration. But unfortunately, we are not close to that right now.
Right. And so what frustrates me though is when people do use that to point out like, well, as this or because I'm this, like I'll be,
Mm,
but at the same time they get asked questions that, like as a female, how do you think this blah 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 blah. And so yeah, I think if they just lean on their policies instead of I feel like that's what a problem that Kamala had was she
yeah.
leaned on being a person of color and a female
Hmm.
and never talked about policies and actually the Democrat platform has not changed since Biden's 2020 term or whatever. So it's like you guys need to start if you're going to win, you need to start talking policy and about what
Hmm.
you're going to do as far as change. Like you can't just rely on being a person of color or being a female. Like you also have to talk about policy and what good you're going to do. And I mean, I hope we can see it someday.
Well,
I
and
think we will. We're still young enough. We'll see a female president.
yeah, I'm hopeful. And like it has to be about something. It has to be about policy because I have met many women in my
Mhm.
life or many gay people, men and women in my life not all of them think the same. Like, just because you're
Oh,
gay does not mean that, like, I met a gay man a few weeks ago who was a Trump supporter.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, the vast majority aren't. But again, it just shows that not everybody who is gay thinks the same. Not
Yeah.
everyone who's a woman thinks the same.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole, like, Latinos for Trump group too, and you wouldn't think that,
Oh, yeah.
it's just again, if you look more into policy and less into, um, what the media is trying to tell you about people, you know, in
Mhm.
both ways. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. Um, I think it was important in this case. I think it was important because it was the first time that anyone that was gay or different from, like I said, the white man that
Mhm.
is usually in charge, and people, especially in California at that time, really latched onto that. They wanted to see change. They wanted to see progression.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it got it. Unfortunately, it cost two people their lives, but it happened.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to tell you about my sponsors real quick. Sometimes I get on a roll cleaning or gardening, and I need a boost but don't have time for a meal. Big Fork Brand's pork jerky is the perfect choice to keep my momentum, offering high-protein snacks for on-the-go energy boosts. Not only do they offer pork jerky, but they also make pork sticks, bacon sausage, bacon hot dogs, and burger and hot dog sauces. Products come in a variety of delicious flavors, including Thai green curry and maple and brown sugar for the meat options, and gangster and Chicago fire for the sauces. I personally think the original flavor of the pork jerky hits just right after tackling a big chore. It's a little salty and very flavorful. My discount code gives you 20% off your entire order, and it's currently the best deal available. Just visit bigforkbrands.com and enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. Are you looking for a gift for a music lover, or maybe some apparel to show off your quirky side? Old Glory has you covered. With over 300,000 officially licensed items covering music, sports, entertainment, and pop culture, you're guaranteed to find the perfect item. They even have seasonal gear. My husband enjoys the Beatles and Led Zeppelin apparel, and I love the Billy Idol apparel. I even found items for my fellow plant enthusiasts. This family-owned superstore is known for their quality and customer service, offers free standard shipping on all orders, and orders are shipped the same day you purchase. My discount code gives you 15% off your entire order, and it's currently the best deal available. Just visit oldglory.com and enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. Looking for a game-changing way to improve your health? Zevo Life is the world's most nutrient-dense whole plant, packed with over 50% plant protein, essential amino acids, fiber, and antioxidants. Harnessing the best nature has to offer, Zevo Life nourishes your body while driving your performance, vitality, and overall well-being. Each serving is a concentrated source of clean, well-balanced nutrition designed to support modern lifestyles, and just 1 teaspoon a day supports your gut, boosts energy, and promotes healthier skin and hair. It's no wonder that it's receiving rave 5-star reviews. Step into a healthier future with a 30% discount and a 30-day risk-free guarantee by visiting zivo.life and using my promo code. To support my show and to receive 30% off your entire order, enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout.
Is there anything in the true crime world that you thought was interesting?
Have you seen the interview with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb?
I just saw some clips about it or of it. So she's coming back to the
She
Today
is,
Show?
yeah. She's
Okay.
coming back in April. As it's really heartbreaking. I don't think anyone, when Nancy Guthrie went missing, I don't think anyone thought that they would still be searching for answers this far out.
Yeah.
So it just makes me really think that something happened right away to her.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh shit, now like she died and there's nothing we can do. Like maybe the intent wasn't to kill her, but either way, it's hard to have faith that she's
Yeah.
alive and well when it's been so long.
Right. I mean, I guess I gave up personally, I'm like, okay, well, if this is a real kidnapping, I didn't think she probably made it very long, unfortunately, whether that was their intent or not.
Right.
So I feel terrible for that.
Yeah.
I just feel terrible. Like, because I can't really think of an instance where she's alive and well right
No,
now,
I can't either. That would
So
just
I'm sure.
mean so many things. If she was alive and well, like it would mean that whoever is doing this had access to so many resources, like medically,
Yeah.
that I just don't think. I don't think that that's the case, unfortunately. Though I think that that's like the script that Savannah has to write. Like of course she's gonna say that her mom is still alive and she has faith, because
Right.
I feel like you just have to. It hasn't been a year.
Have they heard from anybody?
I don't think so. They got those 2 ransom letters, but I think they both turned out to be fake.
So they haven't actually heard from anyone
Mm-mm.
that they think legit had her.
Not that I know of. I could be wrong, but I don't think
Okay.
so.
Damn.
Which is just makes you think, like, what's the point then? What was the point?
That's what I don't get. Like, why would you take an old lady like that if you're not trying to get money out of it? And
Or some, like, I don't know, something through Savannah, some political backing, something.
right.
Yeah.
It's so strange and extremely sad. I mean, to never know where your mom ends up at.
Well, I'm like, I just keep thinking about Nancy Guthrie, and to get through almost your entire life and then that be the end of it.
That's your end.
Like I would be so pissed. Like I didn't go through all of this, especially in that, like, however old she was up. That means she grew up in a really difficult time.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah, she's only 2 years younger than my grandma, and just hearing like the Depression.
Yes.
That's
You went through the
a whole different
Depression
time.
and like made it out with your daughter becoming this like national celebrity.
Yeah.
To go out like that.
Yeah. That's terrible.
I know. But like it's all desert there. So if they were to like, if you were to bury a body, would it even be as noticeable because there's no dirt to disrupt?
So, yeah, I don't think so. And then I've just from like other cases where people have been buried in the desert, how wind will shift the sand.
Yeah.
It could unbury a body that's been there for a while. And I believe it mummifies them a bit as well. I mean, depending on the area.
Yeah, like how in New Orleans, it like the heat, like,
Yeah.
ash. I could see it with it being so hot there. And
yeah. So I mean, if I had to, I'm being so morbid, but it's not like Savannah's listening to this, like if I had to take a guess, like I would guess that she's in the desert somewhere, and that maybe we will find her, maybe someone out UTVing.
Yeah, no, that's sad. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully they do get answers though, because nobody deserves that.
No. And again, like if she is alive and well, there's a lot of questions that are going to need to be answered.
Yeah. We might just need to like think honestly, how much of this are we not going to get an answer to?
All of it, probably.
I mean, know.
We're probably never going to know any more than what we know right now.
Yeah.
Unless she's found alive or dead. But even that, like how much? Yeah. Yep. It's I don't know. It's really strange, and I do wonder how many of these. We've just had a lot of weird like deaths. Like there's been a lot of weird celebrity deaths because I mean there's Rob Reiner, but like who was that? Gene Hackman and his wife, like just and the dog.
Yeah, with like the dementia and stuff. She died and he basically like starved and
But those are weird, but can be explained. I don't know.
No,
just another mystery.
Yeah, I saw Rob Reiner's son is. I mean, I'm sure he's going to use insanity defense, but
yeah,
He's gonna end up having like a public defender.
Yeah. What did you see any updates on the Tyler Robinson?
I haven't like explicitly looked though, I guess.
I was reading, like, he was on my X timeline for something, but I can't really remember what, other than they are allowing cameras and stuff in the courtroom. Like, there's that big debate on whether they were going to or not.
That'll be interesting. When does
Oh,
that start?
I think it starts in May. So it's still a ways away. I think they're debating on whether or not they want to play the video of Charlie dying, like, in court or not. I think they were fighting against that, but I 100% think that they should play it in court because you can see how he reacts to seeing it. And then I think there was an angle from behind that was released recently, but you can't. If what I was watching was real, you can't see anything. Like,
that was such a crazy. I don't even know. Like, when that first happened and everything circulated online, like, the media got a hold of it first, obviously, and people were sharing it on their private profiles, and it was completely uncensored for so long.
Yeah.
Like,
is it still out there? I haven't looked.
I mean, it probably keeps popping back up, but I don't think you can as easily find like such a graphic video. But
yeah,
let me just see how easy it would be.
So this is one of those things.
Well, it is more. Yeah, it's not as easy, but it is it shows more than I thought it would.
Yeah. I was wondering if that was scrubbed or not. But the thing about this is, and I see this time and time again with various things, is when you are presented with something as if it's fact by people of authority, whether it be media, politicians, or what have you, why do people just accept it as fact? So with the type of gun and ammo that Charlie was supposedly assassinated by, anyone who knows about guns knows that it wouldn't act like that. And we're just supposed to accept what this one medical examiner said. Same with Epstein. So because this one medical examiner said, oh, sometimes there are contusions in the back of the neck. Sometimes ligatures are straight across. But then you listen to all these other medical examiners say, no, that's not the fact. But for some reason, because this one said this, and politicians in the media are saying, yes, Epstein killed himself, people are just accepting that, and we're not supposed to go any further into it. Obviously, with Epstein, it's different because people just really are having a hard time believing it. But it's just frustrating that we're being told that this one doctor, this one medical examiner, this one person that happens to be hired, not like has some connection.
Yeah.
We're just supposed to believe what they say.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that, like, okay, to get these quote unquote expert witnesses, like, to be an expert, you just have to know more than the average, like, the lay person.
Yeah.
So it's not like you don't actually know when someone says, oh, I'm an expert in this, you don't actually know what makes them an expert, like what education they've had, what experience they've had, which you might argue is more important than education. Like, who mentored them, where did they go to school, where did they do all of these things that would give them backing of, like, this is why you should believe me. You have no idea what any of that is. So the prosecution could go out and hire somebody who, like, will tell a story based on that is, advantageous to their side of things. And then the defense will go out and do the same thing. And there's no like rhyme or reason why you should believe them. Sometimes they say like their, most current job or like what they do right now, but that doesn't actually give the full picture of what qualifies them. Because you could say, oh, I'm the current director at, some hospital somewhere. Well, like, what does that actually mean? What do you actually see? How big is that hospital? How
Right.
much experience have you had? Like,
Right. Yeah.
it's
Like, okay, so if you're a vet tech at a vet clinic, you're seeing routine things most of the time. If you're a vet tech at an animal shelter, you're seeing everything. It's a completely different job.
Yeah, and like for the vet I go to, like the techs that are like rooming the patients and the dogs for like routine visits, just vaccinations, checkups, nail clippings, things like that, and the techs that are like assisting in the procedures are two different things.
Yeah.
Same with
Yes.
like humans too.
Right.
So what someone sees on a medical floor might not be the same thing that somebody sees in surgery, which might not be the same thing that somebody sees in the morgue.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I think every time someone says they're an expert witness, it should be taken with a grain of salt.
Right. That's what I don't know. That's just a big thing I've been thinking about lately. It's like, why are we trusting all these people? Because I mean, again, just for the Epstein files, you have that one medical examiner that says he killed himself. But like, I listened to Nancy Grace, who doesn't have any skin in the game. What does she care if he killed himself or not? And then she's got multiple medical examiners saying there's no way he killed himself.
Right.
And well, what do they have? They're not being. There's no skin in the game. Why would they lie?
Well, and like, just because of what we've learned from the Epstein files, I think we know that we can't like just take the government's word for it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we've had so much proof that they lie and that their, political officials are held to a higher standard than just your average citizen. So it's,
and that makes me mad too, because and this isn't an offense to anyone that I've talked to, anyone in particular, but and I'm trying not to like say politicians are dumb, like because I've had great conversations with politicians, but like, what makes them a better source of information than anybody else? What makes them more trustworthy than anyone else? If anything, they have more incentive to say certain things than anyone else. So why are we treating them like they're
not
I don't
professional
know.
liars?
Yeah. Right. Right.
But like, that's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
And now we have like, everyone has a smartphone and can record everything. So we have evidence of people contradicting themselves left and right.
Yeah.
Politicians especially.
Yeah. There was a video, and I'm not saying this to bash Democrats, because again, I used to vote Democrat. It was a video. Huh?
Are you going to talk about Bill Clinton?
No, no, everyone's doing the like, hey, Dad, what were you like in the 90s video?
Yeah.
So someone posted like, hey, Democrats, what were you like in the 90s? And it just shows clips of all these Democrats like saying things that completely contradict what they stand for today.
Yeah. And it's not the same at all.
Right. It's just, it's just interesting what the world has become. Why? Is there something interesting about Bill Clinton out?
There's just like a video of Bill Clinton talking, I don't remember, from back when he was like president or something, in a deposition, and he was like, I have an excellent memory, blah blah blah, and then like talks about him writing a book, and then they interviewed him again for the Epstein files, and he was like, I don't remember, that was so long ago, I don't have a good memory, like they were like.
So did you see where he was looking at photos and like was smiling while looking at photos, and then she took like, him away, and
he took not you, and he was like, wow, I don't remember.
But he was looking at them for like way too long with a giant smile on his face.
He was reminiscing. He was remembering. He wasn't looking at them. He was remembering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It
But
was like,
and then for him and Hillary to contradict each other in their
yeah.
depositions. I'm like, did you
Yeah.
guys not talk about
Yeah.
this? Like, I mean, I'm
Mom
sure
didn't
you're
talk to
not
Dad
supposed
before
to.
they got out there.
Yeah. Oh, politicians are silly. And
Yes.
unfortunately, they're taking our money and doing stupid shit with it. So
I
it
know.
makes it less funny.
And we have no choice but to pay them.
Yeah. I've heard people like calling for people to not pay their taxes. And it's like, yeah, but you're going to do it though.
You're gonna do, of course you're gonna do it. I'm way too fucking type A to not pay. Are you kidding me? That would send me, I would have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like to know that I owe the government money and they could come after me and take my house or my car or my like education. My like no. Fuck that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna leave it there. So, any idea well, I like it as a surprise. Do you have any idea what's going on next month?
No, I don't even know what's going on tomorrow. So
Yep. So, all right. Well, yeah. Until next time, thanks everybody for listening.
Bye.
All right, bye.